drugs, love, and hip-hop, I decided to share my piece about hip-hop, so y'all just enjoy. I met this boy when I was 5 years old. I kicked it with him because he made me lose control. Right away caught my attention, lived around the block, always with the fly gear, fresh sneaks, shell toes, K-Swiss, and Reebok. Always talking about life on the D-block. The dope man, strawberries, and fresh Jerry curls, niggas, bitches, and hoes, and big booty girls. So he didn't know how to talk yet. He was young, dumb, and straight out of Compton. But I didn't bust, because unlike my mama and daddy, he let me cuss. And parents just don't understand. It's just words, not lust. And plus, sometimes me and him would just talk about silly stuff like Afro puffs and missing the bus, rocking high-top shoes and fades, and how life would be when we got it made. And I loved it, and I loved him, and so did my family. You see, my mom used to go to school with his daddy's crew called the OJs, and this other wild dude with a perm named James. And my sister used to kick it with his uncle named Cube and his cousin Rakim, and his other play cousin named Too Short, and his other play cousin named Too Pac. And that dude, he was kind of crazy, but his six-pack was amazing. And he was deep too, just like the rose that grew from the concrete beneath his shoes. Then this other dude, who always rocked braids, always made it a point to spell out his name while he rolled the joint. Like, it's the capital S-O-S, so fresh and double P, D-O-double-G-Y-D-O-double-G, you see? Yeah, I was just one of the boys back then, through and through. Flannel shirt buttoned up to my neck with Nike Cortez shoes. Till this chick walked by one day, and her hair was all blue. She was nasty as all hell. Always wearing a tight skirt, and all the boys liked her, and I thought she was just a flirt. Until one day she jumped in the cypher, and she spit rhymes like a viper. From then on, she was my homegirl. Taught me all about sex, what to do to make them chase you, and then make them cut your check. Then she introduced me to her crew, Fati, Trina, Eve, and Missy. And when the boys would talk shit, we bury them suckers underground and still look pretty. Yeah. And my boy, he was still my boy, but he was changing. He moved to the far side of town, grew dreadlocks, and got boisterous and proud. And when he started rolling with the BDP, he got obnoxious and loud, trying to convince me that knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. And I didn't really come to appreciate that phase till years later, because back then, I was too busy rolling with the Big Papas and the Regulators and the LBC. And although I was from Palmdale 661, I still claim 213. Then my boy got real smooth and slick for a minute. Guess he was going through an indigenous phase. Said he was from a tribe called Quest, who believed in the power of beats, rhymes, and life. Then he started dating this chick named Bonita. Then it was Latifah, then it was Light. Then it was Lauren, who was my favorite of them all, because she held that brother down, killing him softly with her song when no one was around. Then he went through this phase that I call the dirty South. Always saying, drinking pit juice with goat teeth in his mouth, which was interesting. Then he started to clean up a little, and I looked at him differently. He started rolling with two dope boys in a Cadillac, and them dudes was fresh and clean, and so was he. But I had no time for a teenage love. I had to get my high school degree, and then off to college. And as my mind started to expand, I realized that my boy, he was no longer my boy. No. He was a full, grown man. Damn! He was smart and witty. And instead of talking about ass and titties, he talked about Femi and Fela and Nina Simone and Dela. And he informed me that I was black not on one, but both sides. And that blackness was much more than mansions and dope rides. It was about pride and seeing through your third eye. And then one day I realized that this man had become the love of my life. Love of my life. And from that day on, it was me and him. And nobody could tell me nothing about my man. Because he was all about progress. And he had a life plan. When he finished school, he was steady on the grind. He had his mind on his money and his money on his mind. And that was fun, and that was fine, till the money started getting good. And he became all about the dough. See, cash ruled everything around him. And so did his ego. Then the recession hit. And he stopped being fun. See, he had 99 problems, and I was the main one. Life became a bitch, and so did I. He told me so all the time. But unlike the young boy without the words to express his thoughts, this was a grown-ass man forgetting everything he was taught. Like how to speak respectfully to the woman who loved him faithfully, who got knocked up and had a son and yearned to be his wife someday. He started drinking, started to go dumb. He started to lose himself, started to go numb. And when the stress got to be too much, he slapped me. And worse came to worse. His bitch, his hoe, his everything. His slut, his cunt, his baby. The gold digger and the gold mine. But gold chains cannot rewind time. See, I had to remind him that this lady don't tech no shit. And before he knew it, I took my son, Little Wayne, and we split. I sent Wayne to boarding school, where he'd be safe from the evils, where he'd meet regular kids and everyday people. And I would think of his father from time to time when I would see some dope kicks or hear a dope rhyme. And one day Little Wayne asked me about his daddy, about those days way back when we used to ride low in that caddy. He said his new friends, Kanye, Kendrick, Nicki, and Khalifa, told him all about this stuff in school, asking me, "Ma, what the heck is a beeper?" He wanted to know the true meaning behind Funky Cold Medina. He said he wanted to change his name to something cool like Lupe Fiasco or Childish Gambino. And I told him he could do whatever he liked, as long as he knows that he could rule the world if he never stops the flow, never kills the beat, and never lets the mic drop. And to always remember that it can't stop, won't stop.